We are dealing with one of two things here. Either political leaders who don't have a clue what they're talking about, or who simply want to pull wool over the eyes of South Africans. Who in their right mind believes that VAT is good for the poor and working class? Seriously, who? Yet we have several political parties that chose to vote with the ANC to support the fiscal framework, claiming that they did it for the sake of the poor and working class South Africans.
The IFP will hold the government accountable to ensure that VAT increases do not disproportionately burden the poor and working class South Africans.
Okay. Just so we are clear here, you had an opportunity to stop the ANC from spending what they don't have. You had an opportunity to tell the ANC to live within their means instead of spending and spending and spending, losing our resources due to mismanagement, corruption, and wastage, but you did not use that opportunity.
And we will continue to advocate for pro-poor economic policies.
You will continue to advocate for the poor and working class South Africans, yet you have put your vote behind a budget that increases VAT by 0.5% this year and an additional 0.5% next year. The same VAT increase that is going to hurt the poor and working class South Africans the most. The same poor and working class South Africans that you claim to be advocating for. I'm sorry, but what type of advocacy is this, huh?
And we will continue to advocate for pro-poor economic policies.
When you say pro-poor economic policies, what exactly are you talking about? Do you understand that VAT is one thing that the poor and working class cannot get away from? Do you understand that when they buy some takeaway month end for their family to be spoiled once a month, they will be feeling this VAT? Do you understand that the rich business owners will simply make up for the money that they lose through VAT by increasing the price of goods that they will sell to the ordinary citizens, that poor and working class South African that you claim to be advocating for? We, the citizens, have already started to receive messages regarding the VAT increases. Businesses don't suffer the pain of VAT as much. When it comes, they simply increase the cost of products and services. No negotiation with the poor and working class. They just increase the price that we have to pay at the till.
The IFP is satisfied that the budget is not just only 0.5% point VAT. It has a number of issues that will be of great benefit to our people.
Can someone please help me understand? Does IFP Hlabisa really not understand the implications of VAT, or is he simply hoping that those who voted for him are too stupid to understand that IFP has just thrown them under the bus? Which one is it? But you know what? It doesn't really matter, because in both cases, it means that he does not deserve your vote next time. Why would you want to vote for someone who doesn't understand what he's voting for and what the implications of his vote is? Why would you want to vote for someone who claims to be advocating for you, but really he isn't? Wake up, South Africa. When you pay those extra rands at the shopping till, at the filling station, or in the taxi or the bus, when you buy fewer megabytes of data because of the increased price of data, remember who voted to support the ANC in passing the budget that included the 0.5% VAT increase in 2025. There's been a lot of this talk from these people that voted with the ANC in relation to the 0.5% VAT increase. Listen to this.
The IFP understands the increase in VAT as a necessary measure to bolster government revenue and ensure continued service delivery. We recognize that the decision to increase VAT is not taken lightly, as it impacts all South Africans. However, given the dire state of public finances, revenue collection shortfalls, and the need to maintain critical social programs we believe that this measure is a responsible step towards economic stability. The alternative would have been further borrowing. This, however, is unsustainable in the long term, as the debt services costs are already at a staggering 425 billion rand.
So, they want you to believe that they're doing it for the country. They want you to believe that they're doing it for the poor. They want you to believe that they're doing it for you. Imagine this man trying to make it seem like in order for the government to collect more revenue, IFP had to support the 0.5 increase in VAT. What kind of fool encourages a corrupt party to take from us before the corrupt party cuts back on the stealing and on the wasteful expenditure? The ANC needs to act like a party that did not get the majority of votes. The ANC needs to stop antagonizing business people. The ANC needs to stop punishing poor people. The ANC needs to stop wasting money now. How many municipalities have a habit of not spending the allocated budgets?
Not millions, but billions of rands of public money and taxpayers' hard-earned cash gone. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure continues to be a problem, and so is irregular expenditure. Nearly 1.5 billion rand has been lost through fruitless and wasteful expenditure by 36 government departments over the past 5 years. And just over 2 billion rand in fruitless and wasteful expenditure was incurred by 27 state-owned enterprises during the same period.
Basically, what this speaks to is a culture. There is a culture sitting behind what you see, sitting behind the numbers, which is a culture of lack of accountability towards the prudent usage of these scarce resources.
Material irregularity is another source of wastage. But where exactly is this money going? The Office of the AG painted scenarios for MPs.
We see quite a lot of these instances where resources are built by the state, such as the hospitals are built, but then are left unutilized. And then the citizens on the ground do not get the benefit of those facilities.
The Office of the AG says it's advocating for the implementation of the professionalization of the public sector framework. It's calling for senior management in the public sector to be appointed on merit. The Office of the AG has also called on the committee's support in holding all departments and SOEs accountable.
How many ghost workers are in the government?
He says the agency discovered this through its operation called Ziveze last December. PRASA has since halted their salaries, but no one has come forward to say they haven't been paid. Balula was answering questions before the Standing Committee on Public Accounts.
The 3,000 that have been found is part of an ongoing process of what PRASA call Operation Ziveze, meaning in a broken place and a mess like that, where you have ghost workers, which we're not supposed to have. They implemented a project called Operation Ziveze, and that Operation Ziveze then have proven by last year, December, 3,000 people were being paid. And since last year, December, the salaries, of those people have been stopped. None of those people have come forward to claim that they have been stopped unfairly. Meaning, it's again a system of corruption within human resource. Meaning somebody has orchestrated a scam to steal money from the organization. So that's how broken PRASA is. Honorable Liz is correct. In a normal company, you can't even afford to have one ghost worker. You have 3,000. And since December last year, stoppage was done on paying off those people, and none of those people have actually come forward to claim that they are being owed or something.
Now, the bail application of the 10 accused in the 260 million rand SASSA fraud case will get underway
How many illegal RG cigarettes are being smuggled into the country without paying any taxes or levies? How many counterfeit Nikes and Adidas sneakers and other items are being sold in Bree and Jippy streets without paying any taxes?
Abibas ou Hike?
Abibas.
Abibas ou Tuna?
Abibas.
Abibas ou Under Arms?
Under Armour. Esse é arma? Under Arms.
Under Arms ou The Hills Mountain?
Under Arms.
Under Arms ou Converse?
Converse.
Converse ou Candy Kindin?
Kendin. Alquindin, docinho, Natal.
Candy Kindin ou Tony Hill Fighter?
Tony Hill Fighter. Al Fighter.
How many goods are being smuggled from China into this country without paying any taxes, any levies or duties?
They've confiscated counterfeit goods worth millions of rands in Bellville. 10 suspects have been arrested in the Western Cape since the beginning of the year in connection with counterfeit goods.
In an effort to clamp down on illicit goods, police destroyed these counterfeit items. Goods worth 523 million were recovered during various operations.
Goods that affect our economy negatively. In other areas, some of the brands have actually discharged their employees because of this of these goods.
By lowering or stopping the smuggling of illegal cigarettes and clothes, the legal cigarettes and clothes will be the only things on the market, resulting in clean money circulating, causing the demand for legal goods to rise, resulting in more sales, which means more collection of VAT without its increase. If the demand is higher, then it means that companies will hire more employees, which means more jobs, which means more people paying more income tax. To top it all off, there will be less people reliant on SASSA grants because you have just created more jobs for some people in the cigarette and clothes manufacturing as well as the retail businesses. This is pro-poor. Basically, you have genuinely created jobs from thin air, not these fake jobs that you get from Panyaza Lisufi.
Economists have warned the country's economy is taking a serious beating as a result.
Now, if the authentic factory loses that production to illicit goods, the impact is not just the loss. The impact is the loss on the factors of production. In other words, the workers that would have been producing those goods in that factory are losing out. They're losing out on wages. The rent is not being paid on the land and buildings. The utilization of the capital equipment is not. So what you're finding is that the knock-on effect, or can I say the broader effect, is not just a cheaper illicit good coming into the market and taking away revenue from that company. It's actually the impact of the economy, and the economy is driven by employment and by the utilization of factors of production.
On Wednesday, the 26th of June, the National Counterfeit Goods Unit and its crime-fighting partners executed a search and seizure warrant, which resulted in the seizure of over 15,000 counterfeit items with an estimated value of 12.8 million rand.
You want us to believe that you are increasing the VAT because you care so much for us?
Right from creating job opportunities, billions of rands invested on infrastructure, invested on water and sanitation, invested on electricity and energy. The construction of work in those three categories, people who will be employed will be the poorest of the poor. The budget is pro-poor as far as we are concerned.
How many projects are not being completed or delivered simply because of the wasteful construction mafias?
We revisit the asbestos roof removal and replacement project to check on its progress. 255 million rand of taxpayers' money was squandered in 2014. Now, this was money that was supposed to ensure that 34,000 asbestos-roofed houses had their hazardous roofs replaced.
Imagine All these issues, if done right, will result in collection of more revenue. If done right, they will create jobs resulting in collection of more revenue without increasing VAT. I mean, oh, but you want us to turn a blind eye on all of this and simply believe that you are increasing the VAT for us.
If you look at the social grants, they will increase, they will benefit the poorest of our community.
You mean to tell me that you are more than happy to lie to your voters, but no one had the guts to say, hey, when Cyril, tell your finance minister to remove VAT, period. No one felt the bravery to say, too long have you abused our people. This time around, you will not get away with this. The DA tried, along with other unlikely parties, in the form of the EFF and the MK party. So strange, is it not? IFP making it seem like they're doing this for the poor, for the country, for the jobs, when in actual fact, saying no to the VAT increase is actually the pro-poor thing to do. To demand that the government do its job and target corruption is pro-poor and good for the country. It is pro-poor to target the smuggling of goods. But hey, IFP Hlabisa wants you to think that he did all of this for you.
Go to schools. Billions of rands injected to employ 11,000 teachers. The teachers will be working in public schools where ordinary children from ordinary citizens go, and the beneficiaries will be the poorest of the poor community out of these teachers employed in these schools. And again, there was a salary increase for 3 years for all public servants. These public servants are the breadwinners in our communities.
Another thing is enforce immigration laws and job openings will show up in farms, factories, shops, you name it. It means that more South Africans and documented foreigners will get jobs and they will pay taxes instead of relying on SASSA grants. This lowers the number of people that would need to be fed by the government, meaning that there would be more money for the government to build more infrastructure to enable citizens to go to work and run businesses efficiently so that they pay taxes consistently.
If you look at health, billions of rands were invested on health, doctors, nurses, and other health professionals will be employed. These people will be working in public hospitals, not in private hospitals. The people who will be beneficiaries out of these doctors and nurses are the poorest of the poor, our community, not the rich people.
Enforce immigration laws and the hospitals, schools, electricity, water, and waste infrastructure that is currently burdened will stop being burdened by the high number of illegal foreigners freeloading on the infrastructure funded by the citizens and foreigners who are here legally. That will be a great saving of our revenue, removing the need to increase VAT. The government simply has to do its job, guys. No need to make it seem complicated, yeah? These fools who pretend to be working for us need to chill and focus on the jobs that they should be doing. I don't want none of this political talk and pretending to be working when you are not working. If you are in Home Affairs, you know what to do. If you are in labor, you know what to do. Whatever job or whatever role you are in, if you play your role and play it well, this nonsensical suggestion of increasing VAT wouldn't even be on the table.
The reality is that South Africa's economy has stagnated over the past many years, and billions have been lost over these years to disinvestment. The disastrous mismanagement of state-owned entities and corruption have scared off investors. We are therefore relying on diminishing pool of resources to fund an increasing pool of needs. This increasing pool of need include the salaries of civil servants, increase in social grants, free government services such as water and electricity, free housing, and other services. the maths just doesn't compute. The IFP, after careful consideration and having made our submissions and proposals of the national budget, we support the 2025 fiscal framework and revenue proposals.
This is nonsense. It is nonsense. I can't believe that these fools fell for the ANC nonsense. These are traitors, pure and simple. Imagine telling me that raising taxes on me is for economic stability. Imagine how stupid you must think I am. The left-wing communists in this country thrive because we have imbeciles and fools, cowards and lazy thinkers taking up space on the side that is supposed to be reasonable. Bench warmers, men and women with blunt swords, competent at nothing but wielding cutlery and reading speeches.
We pledge that a vote for the IFP in 2024 on both the national and provincial ballots will strengthen the voice of integrity in the incoming government. As part of the current government of national unity, we indeed remain that voice of reason. We are indeed the voice of integrity, and our voice is indeed one that brings sensible, constructive solutions to the table.
Politics of the stomach indeed. How disrespectful was this, guys? The ANC simply says we are struggling to keep the government afloat because we are incompetent, we are recklessly spending, we are wasteful and corrupt, and we would rather take more of your money than have to start doing our jobs finally. Imagine, guys, and the IFP and ActionSA, Patriotic Alliance, and a bunch of other parties supported it. It is just crazy. It is crazy. Loonies, I tell you. Absolute clowns. Anyway, that's it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support the work we do, there are 3 options for you. Either buy a t-shirt, join our channel membership, or make a donation to our bank accounts. All the details are in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.